young boys today, what do she bring to the table? The hell you mean, man? What do your ass bring to the table? You got a woman that can come to the table that can make another you. What else she need to slide up to the table with? What about your job? What happened to men who were supposed to be responsible? Do you know that it's our job to take care of a woman and some children, to have a family? That's our damn job.
But what happens to when the woman tell you, I don't need a man, Steve?
Well, they need to what? Okay, if you don't, how that's working? You know, how that's working? Who don't need no man?
I'm independent. I can do for myself.
Yeah, but why do you want to? Yeah, okay, you can drop a transmission. You can sandblast your house. But hell, do you want to?
No.
If somebody could get out there and drop this transmission for you and sandblast your house, why don't you go get your nails done? I'm not trying to reduce a woman to nothing else. Be all you can be. But damn, who don't need a man? That's a lie. What man don't need a woman? I tell you what. Try to live without them. Try to live your life without women. This ain't about la-da-da, man. This is some bullshit without women. If it wasn't for women, what would you? He said, if women did not exist, all the money in the world would have no meaning. Dog, women is everything. They'd catch me out. They'd lick, man. But these young boys done forgot it because these women out here, they've had to be independent because they ain't got the right man.
Okay.
But this system of marriage is still good.
Okay.
This system of a man taking care of a woman, that's really how it's supposed to be. All the rest of it's bullshit, man. And y'all need to quit tricking yourself with this new way of thinking. Because this new way of thinking ain't getting y'all no damn where. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you heard it for yourself. Steve Harvey on Shannon Sharp's podcast. So, Steve Harvey has been accused for simping.
You simp ass nigga.
That you just heard. Basically, he's an old school man, so he feel like my woman or women shouldn't have to do nothing. The fact that they can make kids and make more men is good enough. Go somewhere and get your nails done. I got this. And honestly, that sounds nice, right? And that was the life that a lot of our grandmothers lived. You know, I know my grandmother never worked a day in her life. My grandfather worked at the plant. We call them like the big three here in Michigan. But he worked for Chrysler, I believe. So my grandmother never worked. He did everything. She managed the kids in the house. So I understand what he's saying, but we not in those times. You know, those women were a different caliber of woman. Not saying it wasn't no cheating and maybe babies and stuff back then, but men have become more woke to women's tactics, and men have become to speak up for themselves and kind of feel like, you know, women are dogging us, but they want so much from us. They don't care about their image, how they look. They don't represent me in the way I want to be represented. So men have kind of raised the bar and the standard like, well, hey, what are you bringing to the table? And that's the question that's been going around for some time. And a lot of women have felt offended by that. And I heard someone break that down to make me not feel a type of way about it, even though I ain't got nothing to do with none of this. I'm way over here somewhere. But, you know, it's still a conversation that's been going on. So someone said it's what do women bring to the table is the exact same thing as when you sit down and you first meet someone. So tell me about yourself. What do you do? You know, do you cook? Like what, you know, what are dishes that you're known for? Like, you know, tell me 2 or 3 things that you can just cook real good, that kind of thing, wording it that way. But, you know, everybody's talking about what do you bring to the table? And women are saying, I don't even want to repeat this crap, but women are saying, I am the table. And so men are obviously like, no, those days are over. You can't just bring vagina. Vagina isn't good enough. Let men tell it, you know, they can get vagina anywhere. I've heard stats that a lot of men aren't getting sex like they would want, but in any case, every woman has one. And I guess that's the point. You need to bring something other than vagina, right? And the basic cooking and cleaning is, you know, basic. So that shouldn't be anything to really be promoted. But let's look a little deeper into Steve Harvey's personally. Now, a lot of people are saying he's simping based on his personal life. We all know he's on his third wife, Marjorie. He's wrote several books to cater to women, and people are saying, how can he even tell women to act like a woman, think like a man, when he's on his third marriage? In this same interview, he talked about being broke. And this is kind of where Marjorie comes into place, because he was already a celebrity, but he wasn't doing good. He talked about how he only had $1,700 to his name, that money from Kings of Comedy and all of that. He was getting basically ripped off, like his accountant or somebody, his wife, I'm assuming the second wife. He talks about how he was just like blindly writing checks, and people weren't paying taxes and stuff like they were supposed to. So he ended up on the feds, and he was just down and out. And then Marjorie came back into his life, and things went up from there. So he accredits a lot of where he is to her, even from the way he dresses. So, that's kind of where people are like, well, no, you was already Steve Harvey. And he basically like, yeah, I had the name, but I was broke. So Marjorie is somebody's baby mama. And y'all already know you lose points if you have children from other men. Steve Harvey legally adopted them and is taking care of her kids. He talked about that, how her son was like, you ain't my daddy or whatever, all while in his house and he taking care of him. And he like, well, if I love your mama, I gotta love you. Her daughter, Lori Harvey, has made a name for herself with the way she hopping from men to men. And people are like, Marjorie was like she got drug dealer ties. Like her husband who just got out, he was a drug dealer, and they was calling her like, Lady Heroin or some stuff like that. Like she was in the drug, she was like the pass around main chick for drug dealers back in the day. So a lot of people say Steve Harvey is straight up simping, trying to cater to women because Marjorie and her daughter Lori got him wrapped around their fingers. I've read stuff that says Marjorie, like, she run that family. She's the manipulator, and they all about money, like they greedy and stuff like that. Steve talked about the whole, I don't need a man. Well, Shannon asked him about that. Like, you sitting up here talking about men need to do this, women don't need to bring nothing to the table, but you got women out here screaming they don't need no man. Shannon is right. That ridiculous statement needs to die. But Steve's response, which kudos to Steve, I'll give him that. He said, how's that working for you? Women need men and men need women. Like, y'all running around saying you don't need a man. You gonna drop your own transmission? No, you not. You gonna take it to the shop. You gonna pay that 2 G's, and a man's gonna drop that new trans for you. So let's cut the crap. Even if you feel like you don't need a man to be in a relationship with, you could just get you some eggplant wherever. You still need a man when it comes to car maintenance, house maintenance, and anything else that I can't think of in the moment. Like we need men for everything, and we're only fools in our society, in our community, to say that, because you don't hear women of other ethnicities running around publicly saying that, even if they are pissed at their man. They not running around saying, I don't need you. Yes, I need you. I got 2 boys. I need my man. I love being able to say, I'm going to tell you daddy. And everybody straighten up. I love that. And I have my father. So I would never shit on men to say we don't need y'all. The problem is women, again, the way society is set up, you can just call and get food delivered. You can just call and get a mobile mechanic. You can just call the car manufacturer and go drop your car off and pay some money and get it fixed. And women are making more money than our mothers and grandmothers made. So we feel like our men are obsolete. We don't need them anymore. A lot of y'all got that rose, and y'all sitting up letting that rose take care of you. So you feel like you don't need no man in that department. But the whole independent woman thing, it needs to die. But in Steve Harvey's own personal life and situation, he don't mind taking care of his woman. She ain't got to do nothing. I got her. And there's times in relationships where your man is going to take care of you and you're going to take care of him. That's being in a relationship. or two becoming one. There's times where my husband worked and did everything. There's times where I worked and took care of everything. And there's times where we 50-50 did, which I know a lot of y'all women, y'all shit on that. You ain't gonna 50-50 and build with a man. Me and my husband built. We ain't have, neither one of us ain't have nothing for real. And we built, and there's no problem with that. Especially if you don't come all the way put together in the way that that man wants. But in Steve Harvey case, I always feel like it's different when we talk about celebrities because they move and have money on levels that us, blue collar people don't really know about. So to each his own. But even like I said, even my grandmother, it's people out here who they took care of their woman with whatever their financial budget was. And that's what Steve is saying, that these young boys have forgotten that's their job to do. But the young boys standing up saying like, yeah, we know we're supposed to do that, but these women ain't doing their job. They messing around behind your back while you at work. They unappreciative. They jealous and envious of what the people down the street got. So they want you to work 2 jobs or a job and a half so you can have that same house they got a mortgage that's killing this man trying to make, and you ain't trying to lift no finger to try to help pay that, but you want the biggest house on the block. So men are starting to say, no, we tired of that. We gonna raise the bar for what we want, since women continuously have no problem with raising the bar on us for what they want. So leave your comments. Let me know, is Steve Harvey just old school and that's just the way old school guys think? Or is he simping? Is he truly a simp for Marjorie and trying to promote simp culture? Let me know what you think.
Yeah,
Peace. It's been another episode of Grown
Talk
Folks
your
Talk.
shit.
Catch you in the next one.